What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Welcome to Four-saken Friday. This is a series that I'm going to be running throughout the month of July. Pretty much the basis of this series is every Friday I'm going to upload a video highlighting four releases, albums, releases. It could possibly be EPs, just four releases that have come out in 2022. Four releases that I enjoy and I think some of you guys will enjoy as well, and stuff that I feel like just deserves a spotlight. This is no type of ranking, or they're not in any type of order. Some of this stuff will end up on my end of the year list come December. Obviously I want there to be some surprises at the end of the year, so all of this stuff will not be there. But this is all stuff that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and I think you guys will enjoy as well. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's pretty much me going over to my CD shelf, looking at the section that I have squared away and reserved just for 2022 releases, and whichever four particular releases happen to just speak to me at that moment, I'm going to pull off and kind of highlight and show you guys. I'm going to try my best to mix the genres up a little bit. I want to try to keep a little bit for everybody, something for everybody in these videos. So just keep that in mind. If there's one particular thing that I'm showing that you don't like at all, perhaps the next thing that I'm going to show may be something that's a little bit more up your alley. That's enough of me rambling about that. I'm just going to jump right into this and show you the four albums that I have set aside for you guys today. The first album is the newest output from the band 40 Watt Sun. This one is entitled Perfect Light. This was released back in January on Svart Records. If you're not familiar with 40 Watt Sun, it is the project of Patrick Walker from the Funeral Doom band Warning. This is not metal. This is not metal at all. 40 Watt Sun started out as doom metal, kind of atmospheric doom metal. Their debut album, The Inside Room, will always hold a special place for me. That will probably always be my favorite 40 Watt Sun album. Sometimes I do miss the heaviness and the fuzziness that album had, but it's been a natural progression. As I said, this is the third full length. With the second full length, Whiter Than the Sky, the doom metal portions in that album became less and less. They were almost non-existent, but there were passages where it was still there. On this third full length, he has done away with the rest of the band. He was always pretty much the driving force behind 40 Watt Sun, but he's done away with the band aspect, and he's brought in session artists, session musicians, and guest musicians to fill in on passages of this. With the progression that this band is going, it would not surprise me at some point if 40 Watt Sun was just Patrick Walker with an acoustic guitar singing. I probably would still be okay with that. He has a gift of transforming your mood through his art. This is something that you have to be careful with. Although it's not metal per se, I see it more as like this album in particular as more of an atmospheric alternative rock album. It still has a heaviness to it. It just, as far as the mood goes, it can transform your mood. It can put you in a very dark place if you let it. It's one of those bands, this album and everything from this particular band is just one of those things that you have to be careful. You have to be in a particular mood for, in a particular mindset, and you have to not let it drag you into a dark place. He's so talented that he can just transform your entire mood and put you in a place that you didn't think that you were going to end up at. I have to watch myself listening to this sometimes. There are times where I'm listening to it and I'm like, you know what? I need to turn this off. I need to find something productive to do. I need to get my mind in a better space. So just keep that in mind. But it's just a testament to how good this album is. It's 8 tracks long, and I could go through, if I wanted to pull out highlight tracks, I could probably name off any one of those tracks, and that would be a highlight track. But just for the sake of this video, the track number 3, Until, I love that track. Track number 5, The Spaces in Between, and then track number 8, Closure. I mean, they're all very emotive, and it's just it's an emotional piece, and it can wreck you if you let it. So heed my warning on that. It is a phenomenal release. I absolutely love this. It came with a bonus disc. I don't want to get into the bonus disc too much because I'm focusing on the main releases from this year. But the bonus disc that came with this is phenomenal as well. It's 4 tracks of live. It's 4 live tracks that he's done. There's a couple from the first album on that live album that will just absolutely wreck you as well. But if you're looking for something depressing, something to put you down in the dumps and just leave you there for dead, 40 Watt Sun is definitely, it can definitely do that. There are some hinges of hope on this as well. Pretty much just the equivalent of if music was able to hug you, then this is pretty much a hug in a music, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So we're going to go from something that was not extreme or abrasive at all to something that is very extreme and very abrasive. We have Screams of Desolation with their debut full-length Under a Pale Moon. This is a one-man DSBM. Don't let that genre tag turn you off from this. A one-man DSBM project out of Alabama. The driving force behind this one, Invictus Vita Mortis. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there, your surname. Which is interesting because my favorite track on this album is actually titled Vita Mortis. It's a one-man project out of Alabama. DSBM is the genre tag. I know the vocals on a lot of DSBM albums turn people off. Don't let that be the case. Don't think that that's going to be the case. It's not the whiny, shrieky type vocals. I could do without that sometimes. The vocals on this are very well done. I don't even really feel comfortable calling this just a DSBM album. Yes, there are some depressive elements. The track number 3, Vita Mortis, that is my favorite particular track on this release, is one of those slower, methodical, depressive black metal type tracks. But there are some kind of unpolished, raw, faster paced stuff going on in the middle portion of this album. Fields of Glass, Blade of Torment. Those tracks just have this almost old traditional black metal USBM sound going on. Very raw, very unpolished. Can be, if you're not into this style of music, that portion of the album might be a bit of a difficult listen. The musicianship is absolutely on point here. And there are some like spoken word passages. There are some sound clips that add a bit of atmospherics onto this album as well. I do enjoy that. It kind of breaks it up and gets you ready for the next portion. The album is structured almost absolutely perfectly as well. And then towards the end, you go back to one more of those kind of depressive, slower tracks. I believe it is entitled My Personal Death. That is track number 9. And then the last tracks, you get this blasphemous, just dark, fast-paced, just nastiness. If you've ever had someone that is holier than thou, if you've ever been hurt by the church or people within a particular church, or someone that's just super religious, you will dig those last tracks. There's some blasphemous stuff going on. There's just some dark stuff going out, and it finishes on a very blasphemous note. It is a killer release. This was as I said earlier, the very first Morgue Records album that was ever released under Morgue Records. Morgue is always linked up down in the description because John, the main man behind Morgue Magazine and Morgue Records, did the artwork for this channel, the channel logo artwork. So I always link him up down in the description. I'm going to link all of these bands up as well. Screams of Desolation will definitely be down there because Invictus Vita Mortis has been very busy this year. I am so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. He has been on a tear putting out music, so his Bandcamp will be down there in the description so you can check this out and check out some of the newer stuff that he's put out. The album itself was on pre-order through Morgue. It may be sold out from John. If it is, I know that these albums are still available at stabbyhamlet.com, so I will link that link up in the description as well. That way, if you listen to this on Bandcamp and you actually want a physical copy, there will be a place where you can actually still purchase one of those. Moving on. Next up, we have a band out of California with their sophomore effort. This is Nite with Voices of the Cronian Moon. I just knew I was going to butcher. I had to read that. I knew I was going to butcher that album title. This is kind of black and straightforward heavy metal, released on March 5th through Season of Mist. Their first album, Darkness, Silence, Mirror Flame, back in 2020. That album completely caught me off guard, and that is an album that I still pull off and listen to. I love when a band progresses and moves forward with their sound, becoming, I guess, working as better as a unit, as a unified unit as far as the band goes, kind of a well-oiled machine. Nite is well on their way in that territory. The guitar work on this is absolutely phenomenal. It's no secret why. The guitarist for this band, Scott Hoffman, does guitars for Dawnbringer and the band High Spirits. So if you're familiar with those bands, you know that his musicianship is absolutely on point. This is some catchy stuff. It is traditional heavy metal, but it's steeped in that blackened vibe, especially with the raspy vocals that go on with this. You're going to catch yourself singing passages out of this without even realizing it. The track Liber Ex Doctrina, track number 4, has this line that goes through it, and it's very repetitive, but it's freedom to those freedom to those who are bound. And I will catch myself, like the melody and the tune to that will be stuck in my head, and I'll just be walking around singing that, and it'll take me a second, and then I have to go back and listen to this album. The very first track, Acheron, has some lines on it too that will do the same thing. It will get stuck in your head. It'll make you want to come back and keep listening to this. And on top of that, the musicianship, the vocals, musicianship, everything is just kind of working together. As I said earlier, it's kind of like a well-oiled machine. Fantastic release. I have no qualms whatsoever by saying that this is definitely going to be on my end of the year list come December, so keep your eyes out for that one. Fantastic stuff here. I know the debut album was kind of hit or miss with some people. I feel like this is a definite step forward, and I love that debut album, so it just keeps on getting better with the band Nite. And then last but not least, keeping with that same theme of bands getting better with every album moving forward. I don't know the word that I was looking for there. We have the band Venom with Legend. Adversary is the name of the first track. This is Venom with Legend. This came out April 22nd on Profound Lore Records. This is another one of those that I have a little bit of trouble with the genre tag. Yes, this is black metal. That's what it's tagged as black metal. This does not sound like what I have in my head pictured what black metal is. This is just kind of transcending black metal, very melodic black metal, very well polished, very well produced black metal. It's very crisp on the production. I know that sometimes a lot of people may get turned off with just the term melodic black metal, but as I was saying about the Nite album, the guitar work on this album is absolutely amazing. Within the first track, Adversary, the melody that the guitar hits you with towards the end of that track had me hooked on this. And then I could say the same thing about track number 2, the Gateway and the Key, towards the end. The guitar work on that once again hits me with this melody that just gets stuck in my head. As I was saying about the Nite album, I would walk around singing that. This, I would go around humming the melody, and I'd be like, or it'll just be stuck in my head. And I'm like, where is this coming from? What is this? And I'm like, it's Venom. I have to go check this out. As I said, this is their third full length, and I have loved every full length that they've put out, and each full length that they put out, I've loved more than the full length prior. I didn't think that they could top their past album. I believe it was like Ageless Venom. I'm sorry, the name of that album just left my memory. It came out in 2019, and when that one came out, I was like, I think this is kind of the pinnacle of Venom. I don't see this band getting better. I don't see how they could get better than what they're doing right now. And then when I saw that this one was released, I saw the artwork on the front there, and it was an auto pre-order without hearing anything on it. I was like, I know I'm going to like it. Am I going to love it? We'll just have to wait and see. And yes, I absolutely love this. It's 5 tracks, 46 minutes. So each track on this has a little bit of girth to it, a little bit of time, but it flies by being 46 minutes. It's super well polished. It's super great. And the final track, Beneath the Pillars of Earth and Air, is like this grand magnum opus to end the album. This is another one that I'm pretty positive I could say will most likely end up on the end of the year list, but I'm not going to set anything in stone at this point. We still got a lot of year left, but that we got a couple of heavy contenders on just this video alone. That's all for this Friday. Hopefully, if you haven't heard some of this stuff, you will take the time to go check it out. If you do go check it out, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. I know you death metal junkies probably a little let down that there wasn't death metal in this particular video, but there is a little bit of spoiler right here of some stuff coming up in one of these future Fridays. There will be some death metal, so don't fret. That's all I've got for today. I hope you guys come back on Sunday. Sunday we'll continue going through the CD collection, and if nothing else, I'll see you guys next Friday for another Four-saken Friday. Stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you guys very soon. I promise.